Bitcoin has been largely moving sideways over the last 24 hours after having a relatively subdued day today. However, it's very important to point out what's going on beneath the surface, so below the surface price. And there's some very interesting developments in Bitcoin and in crypto, especially in Ethereum. There's one very important metric I want to talk to you about with Ethereum. Hello, my name is Cody, the Coin Raptor, and I'm here to give you some excellent crypto information. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our Bitcoin chart TA. So Bitcoin right now has been moving sideways, like I said before. In the past couple of days, we haven't seen much action. However, that being said, it's holding up very, very well. I mean, you can just see just in the past couple of days that it's held this level here, and it's gone to about 27,200. It's popped off of that level, and right now it's kind of stuck at the resistance here at 28,000. Now, I've drawn in the resistance point right here because this is an incredibly strong resistance point that correlates all the way back here to back at the May last year drop as well as June. And we're waiting right now for the next leg up for Bitcoin. But I think in the immediate, we're going to wind up probably seeing a pullback for the Bitcoin price. You can see here the RSI on the daily is 70. It was 72 earlier. It's come down a little bit. So basically it's overbought right now. Bitcoin is overbought, and the longs right now are starting to go a little bit weaker. They're starting to get weaker right now. And so what I'm expecting is a bit of a pullback, a little bit of a healthy pullback for Bitcoin. I've said before that we could definitely test this 26,700 level before we make the next move up. But Bitcoin needs some time to consolidate. It can't just keep going up in one direction straight up like a skyscraper. It has to consolidate. And even when we had this massive move up here coming into January, we had some consolidation periods here, and then it moved up, and then it consolidated quite a bit. It dipped a little bit, and then it popped back up again. Again, huge dip, then we get a pop. So we're most likely going to be seeing something like that, very similar. We'll wind up getting another dip followed by another pop. Now, as for the Bitcoin funding rate, what we can see here is that we have a green funding rate, and that means for our perpetual futures contracts, we have a longs being dominant. Okay, longs are dominant right now. They're paying a premium position to shorts in order to maintain their position, and the overall sentiment right now is still very bullish, at least from a derivatives perspective. And I want to go ahead and make sure we talk about what Bitcoin has actually done this month, because it is nothing short of amazing. March, right now, we have about 11 more days to go with March, but so far it's up almost 20% in March. Now, that's especially remarkable when you consider the fact that February we were only up 0.03%. And March traditionally is not a good month for Bitcoin. We can see we have all these red Marches before then, even like about 5 of them in a row normally. And seasonally speaking, this is a very weak month normally for Bitcoin. But the reason why we're starting to see this huge move up with the Bitcoin price is because of the bank failures, or the numerous bank failures we've heard about. We've talked about Silvergate, we've talked about SVB, we've talked about potentially First Republic, and quite frankly, there are investors right now that are looking for alternatives, and one of the alternatives that presents itself is Bitcoin. Okay, so that way investors don't have to worry about a bank. They don't have to think about putting their money into a bank. Instead, they are the bank. They are self-custodying their own Bitcoin, and they don't have to worry about whether or not this bank is insolvent or not. All right. So also something I'd like to point out that I've noticed is a little strange right now with the Bitcoin price is that we have the Bitcoin NVT Golden Cross, which previously I've talked about as a good measure of both showing the local tops and the local bottoms in the Bitcoin price. And what we've seen lately is this incredibly strange move here from the 14th all the way up here to the 15th, literally one day apart, moving down from the green zone, which if you guys have been following along, means kind of a close to a local bottom, all the way into the red zone, which means close to a local top. And so it flipped rapidly in the course of one day. I think this is kind of an outlier, but it's following the price, because the price went from about $20,000 right all the way up here to about $27,000 in a very short period. And what we're starting to see with the NVT Golden Cross is it's kind of giving us a topping formation. It's giving us a topping pattern for the Bitcoin price. And so that's another reason why I think that we're probably going to wind up getting a pullback sooner than later. Now, I also want to go ahead and take a look at the spent output profit ratio, or SOPR, right? I've said before previously that the SOPR level gives us an idea of whether or not the Bitcoin holders are in profit or not. And Kathy Wood and ARK Invest have come out and said one of the metrics they're looking at in order to confirm the start of a bull market is if it holds above what we call this dotted line here, this 1 value, okay? And so far, it's held above this 1 value ever since about the 11th or so of March. So we're about a little under 10 days into it so far, and we're holding this level fairly strongly. It did come down here and dip just briefly below 1, but right now what that's telling us is that a majority of the market is in profit currently. So that's what we're trying to look for. And again, judging by the past history, every single bull market has had a level above 1 for an extended period of time. So that's something that we're going to be looking at going forward. Now, like I said before, there has been a massive increase in the number of people buying Bitcoin, self-custodying Bitcoin because of the banking problems. And so what we're seeing right now is that addresses with at least 1 Bitcoin have gone up dramatically. And we can see here that we have like the price right about 985,000 addresses that have at least 1 Bitcoin. Now it's gone up and spiked here to 986,000. It was at a previous high of 988,000, but we are slowly but surely making our way up dramatically, and to see the just incredible numbers of addresses that have at least 1 Bitcoin in them, that is very bullish, because you're having a more equal distribution of Bitcoin. Next, I also want to make sure we talk about the broader market. So we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That is, broadly speaking, one of the largest indicators of the stock market. People tend to look at the stock market and the Dow Jones, especially, and what the Dow has been doing. Well, year to date, the Dow is down 2.69%. Now, that's incredibly important, right? Because Bitcoin is a commodity. It should trade like a commodity. It shouldn't trade like a tech stock, right? But compare it to the Dow Jones, which is down, you would expect Bitcoin to be a hedge. And so if we take a look at the Bitcoin price, we can see year to date up 68%. So Bitcoin has proven itself to be a strong hedge against the traditional markets right now, year to date. And I would say it's outperformed anything past my expectations for the first 3 or 4 months of the year. So that's definitely positive, and I think we'll wind up continuing to see this positive momentum with Bitcoin. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum, we have our chart TA right here. So Ethereum is still sideways consolidating. It has had a difficult time trying to get above 1,791. It's had a really hard time trying to get above this level and push above 1,800. And then above that level, if it can clear 1,800, then the next price target we're looking for, heavy resistance, is going to be about 2,000. Now, Ethereum is not as overbought as Bitcoin. We can see here that the RSI is only at 60, so we're not quite at that overbought level yet, but we're still seeing this very nice uptrend right now. And especially if you zoom out and you just look at the overall uptrend for Ethereum, it is very, very nice, and it looks like it's holding very strongly right now. So with Ethereum, the most important metric I like to look at when it comes to Ethereum is the total supply. So we go over here to CryptoQuant, we look at Ethereum's total supply, we can see that it continues to be deflationary, right? So ever since we had the merge, we see that this point, right, in September, we see a continuous disinflation, a continuous deflation of Ethereum, right? So there's less supply being put on the market. It peaked right? And now it's going back down again. It's very important in order to see something like this because previously it was inflationary and the issuance rate was fairly high. And if the issuance rate is high, then the price is not going to really be able to take off. In fact, you have to have a deflationary period in order to see an increase in the price. So Ethereum continues to be deflationary because of the burn, the gas burn that was introduced in one of the upgrades, and that I think is very bullish for Ethereum. This is something I'm going to be looking and keeping and paying attention to because I'm curious to see if this will continue to happen, where you have Ethereum being burned every single transaction and the issuance of Ethereum is not enough to push it to an inflationary status. Right now, the supply is back to August of 2022 levels. That's pretty amazing. All right, and then finally, we're going to talk about our Binance Coin. So Binance Coin right now is in the middle of a range, and so what we're seeing with Binance Coin is it's stuck between 327, and here at about 343. So it's been stuck going sideways, and right now we're looking for either a retest of this level here at 327, or we're looking for a breakout at 343. Now, if you ask me, what do you think is going to happen more likely? I think we're going to wind up getting a retest at that 327 level, and it's going to reaffirm that support level. Now, if it doesn't reaffirm the support level, we could see it go all the way back down here to 314, okay? All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. If you guys like this content, let me know, like, subscribe, and go ahead and leave me a comment. And let me know what you guys think about this current market and what you think about where Bitcoin is going to go for the rest of the month. Definitely curious to hear about your thoughts. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you guys on the next video.